What's going on, everybody? Ken Howard, Green Mountain Defense, coming to you today with a review. We're real happy to be bringing you. Really enjoying this here firearm. This is the Ruger GP100 Match Champion in 10mm. So, we're big Ruger fans here. We're big 10mm fans. It would obviously stand to reason that we would love a 10mm revolver. I certainly do like this gun a lot. This gun's got a lot of rounds through it for 10mm. I'm going to caveat it that way. I've got just about 1,000 rounds out of this here gun. Mixture of 40 and 10mm has been fired. Right off the bat, we can cover one thing. This revolver feeds from moon clips, and in this gun, in these charge holes, 40 Smith & Wesson does not headspace correctly for 100% reliability. While shooting the gun, I got about 1 out of every moon clip failure shooting 40 Smith, sometimes 2. But, for an economical practice round in this gun, or if you're like me and you're sitting on a bunch of old 40 and you no longer have any 40s whatsoever, here you go. This thing will eat them right up, and it did that for me. Shot a mixture of Federal Premium, of SIG, this here, Cellar and Bellet, or Cellier and Bella, or however the heck you say that. S&B makes a nice 10mm load. I can get that reasonably cheap. Got 500 rounds of that. This is the Federal Premium 180 grain hollow point load. A little bit of buffalo bore through it. A bunch of my own 135 grain reloads over, not over tight group, over long shot. So long shot, 10 grains of long shot underneath a 135 grain nozzle or partition. A bunch of loads like that. And smattering of whatever else I had laying around. For a total of, like I said, just about 1,000 rounds. That's a lot of shooting. Number one, 6 at a time, and number two, in a stout heavy caliber like this. So we'll go over the features of the gun real quick. You got a 4-inch barrel. Gun does shoot 6 rounds off of these moon clips. Comes with adjustable rear sight and a fiber optic green front sight that's pinned. You can change these out from Ruger. It also comes with a copper insert if you should wish to replace the fiber optic with copper. Thought that was interesting. Ships with these wood grips. I like these very much. You wouldn't think they would be as comfortable, but the gun really balances well as compared to my other 4-inch GP100 357, so I like that a good bit. The cylinder obviously is fluted cylinder walls, and again, it's machined to take these here moon clips, and then eject the whole moon clip right off the bat. Couple things you want to know about a revolver, and yes, let's double check. It is absolutely empty. What's the trigger pull like? For me, it's a heavy stacking double action trigger pull, but it's very smooth. I had no problem keeping nice groups, as you'll see in inset footage, at reasonable distances. Did a good bit of that. Rang some steel with the 10mm. Boy, does the 10 flop the steel around pretty good. Overall, this is a Ruger GP100. We know a lot about those. These revolvers are said to be overbuilt, bulletproof, and everything else. If you got stuck in the zombie apocalypse and you had to grab one gun, what would you grab? A lot of guys will say a GP100. And there's good reason for that. It's a very robust, very durable gun. It's heavy, but honestly, it balances real nice. I kind of like that a good bit. Why a 10mm revolver? Guys will argue, oh, you should have a 357. Oh, you should have a 44. You should have this. You should have that. Number one, I like the 10mm caliber, or cartridge, excuse me. I've got a couple Glocks in 10mm. I've got the SR 1911 in 10mm. To me, it only made good sense that when they came out with this, I would like it. For me, I'm a left-handed revolver shooter in a right-handed revolver shooter's world. My reloads suck as it is. If I can get a faster reload because of these moon clips, I'm all about that. So that's a plus. I really like the ability to carry like snake shot in the woods. So you can put a 40 snake shot round in there, assuming it'll headspace correctly. And granted, I haven't tried that. I need to test that out. So I like that feature. The 10 mil to me, I'm used to the recoil. Shoots very well for me. I can handle it, in a defensive situation pretty well, so that works out good. Also, the ability to shoot 40, although not perfectly, still you can get some cheap 40 and run through this thing without too many problems. Reloading wise, if you wanted to really pud load one of these and knock it down to 40 ballistics, you could certainly do that with a 10 mil case, so it's nice there. And and also, honestly, I spent a lot of time on this channel talking training and defense and doing all these classes and running the dog snot out of a Glock 19, etc., etc. Sometimes it's just nice to come out and pick up a real steel piece of Americana and run that thing. And I like doing it in a caliber that's a little more available and a little more affordable, again, for me. I'm already tooled up to load 40 Smith & Wesson, and I'm already tooled up to load 10 millimeter, so I can do that relatively easily. 40 ammo is pretty well available. It's just a nice little setup. It's a nice little package. The gun does ship, as I said, with these 3 moon clips. $10 strikes me, maybe 15, somewhere in that range, to order replacements on Ruger's website, shopruger.com. I'm going to go ahead and suggest that you do that if you're going to get one of these. Moon clips are very prone to bending and then not working correctly, not retaining the rounds, and also binding up the cylinder on its travel. If you all of a sudden experience a real, oh my god, crazy long double action pull, a good reason for that might be that your moon clip is bent and it's having a tough time rotating through. Another thing to note, if you are going to shoot 40 Smith & Wesson in this gun, much like shooting 38s in a 357, before you try to switch over to 10 mil, go ahead and get a brush and clean out your charge holes on the cylinder. Otherwise, you might have some head spacing issue with the 10 mil binding up in the dirt. Another downside that I've experienced to shooting a moon clip revolver is you can get a little bit of dirt between the moon clip and the ejector, and then you can end up, with the rounds binding up a little bit here. So every once in a while, if you go to shut the cylinder and it doesn't shut real nice and, cock real nice and advance real nice, you might want to go ahead and pop that open and get a brush behind it, clean that out as well. The gun is reasonably priced for what it is. Can be had for under $1,000. That's pretty nice for a revolver of this quality. It's built well, built like a tank. I really enjoyed shooting it and reviewing it. This is not a typical, Green Mountain Defense, use and abuse, durability, reliability, killer review, because I'm just going to be honest with you, I'm not shooting thousands and thousands of rounds of 10 mil out of this. Will I over its lifetime? Hell yeah, absolutely I will, but not in a short couple month time span for the purpose of a review. Man, I just got to tell you, the gun is just pretty, if nothing else. It really presents nicely with these wood grips. Feels good in the hand. I've got a hankering to do something different, competition-wise or something like that. I'm tempted to get some more competition-centric carry gear for this. Maybe shoot this in an IDPA match or something like that. Why? Because I can. The other thing, if you have to have a serious reason and a serious implication for everything, I'm going to tell you what, man. If you can press out a 10 mil revolver and stand there at 7 yards and a 10 yards and a 15 yards and keep a nice tight group in the high center chest with a reasonable time standard, this double action trigger pull is going to make a world of difference when you start running a Glock trigger or something else again, and you'll start to go, my goodness, everything else feels like, a breeze to me after shooting this. And that's true. That's a real feeling. That did happen for me. So, you know, we're going to keep running this thing. It's going to get carried in the woods this deer season, probably as my backup gun. I like that idea of shooting snake shot. I'm going to have to run a bunch of 40 snake shot through it to see if I can get reliable ignition there. Might have to get a little creative if I can't. But, you know, overall, you got a gun with high-end 357, low-end 41 mag ballistics, reasonably easy to reload and get loads for. The 10 mil is becoming all that much more popular on the commercial scene today. So getting ammo commercially available shouldn't be as tough either. Companies like Buffalo Bore and Underwood and all those guys make a good amount of it. And you know, the 10 mil is a fun gun. So if you've already, like I do, you've already got some 10 mil in your stable, some Glock stuff, some Smith & Wesson, I think they make a 10. Springfield just came out with a 10 mil. You know, if you've got some stuff in your stable that's already shooting 10 millimeter, you know, go ahead and pick yourself up a Ruger GP100 Match Champion in 10 mil. They've also come out with a couple other revolvers in 10 mil, so if this exact flavor doesn't fit your fancy, you might find something else that does in the 10 millimeter platform. Again, not really too much more to say about it. I'm pretty happy with it. I enjoy shooting it a good bit. Just be careful if you're going to shoot that 40 in it. Realize that, you know, I probably would not carry it with 40 in a life-saving man stopper roll. Speaking of that, boy, that 135 grain Nosler partition makes a hell of a defensive round if you check out some ballistic testing and look at what guys can do through gel. You know, you can get that round moving pretty quick and it can do some damage. So, you know, good all around if you want a revolver for carrying in the woods, carrying around town. Yeah, go ahead and scoff. Guys have carried 4-inch Ruger GP100s for a personal defense roll for a long time, so it's perfectly doable. Something a little more modern as far as caliber and cartridge goes, selection, availability-wise, etc. Here you have the option. Some guys are going to hate the idea of moon clips. Some guys are going to love it. What I would say is have a nice assortment of those on hand. I wish I had more than 3 to do the review. And as a matter of fact, here, probably shortly when I'm done, I'm going to order some carry gear for it and some additional moon clips. I did shoot it. I shot it out of like a Galco. Well, here, this thing right here. Whatever this jobby is. No, excuse me, Safariland. 27520C Safariland, you know, duty retention style holster for the 4-inch GP100. I shot it out of this. I've had this holster for a long time for the 4-inch 357, and this one worked in it just fine. But obviously would not be able to conceal carry that, so I don't know, Simply Rugged or somebody, I'll get a concealed carry holster set up for this and carry it occasionally. What I think would be as a chest holster gun, you know, for fishing or hunting, etc. So, listen, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Got to see some inset shooting footage, some B-roll, if you will, of us shooting the gun while we're talking about it. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit us up in the comments. We've got a Amazon affiliate link down below. Please follow that. Do your Amazon shopping. It helps us out. Doesn't cost you anything. Also have an affiliate link for Big Daddy Unlimited if you'd like to buy guns, ammo, and gear. There's a link there for a membership through us. That helps us out a lot. Doesn't cost you anything extra. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all at Green Mountain Defense. www.greenmountaindefense.com. As always, stay safe, guys. Thanks and enjoy your shooting. Green Mountain Defense, out.